how's it going everyone? This is going to be the unboxing portion for the Crkd Neo S controller. So as you see, this is one of those square controllers. It comes in many different like color palettes. I decided to get this color palette right here with the splash green paint edition because I thought this looks really cool. So about this controller is compatible with Nintendo Switch, PC, Android, iOS. Also, it comes with it also has two programmable back buttons on the back of it, and it's just honestly like a really cool looking controller. I just like the design of it, and I'm curious to see how this controller performs. So without further ado, let's unbox this controller. So, I can slide this out. Oh wait, this slides in. All right, that's pretty cool. Oh, little tabs right there. All right, without further ado, we're gonna pull this open. Pull this open. Welcome to Neo S, start here. That's interesting. Okay, so it wants a QR code for you to scan. Probably, I wonder if there's like a mobile app or probably just a guide on how to use this controller is probably within the QR code. So let's take this off. And, so you do get a pamphlet that will teach you all the stuff. It is very small. Connect to iOS X input, how to connect to Nintendo Switch, connect it to PC. So it kind of uses the D-pad to determine which mode to set into. All right, cool. So looks like you get, just a how-to guide for everything. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna set that to the side. All right, and we're going to see this USB-C to USB-A cable, of course. It's pretty generic. Dang, this thing is like 2 feet, not even that long. So yeah, strictly for charging. Set this to the side, and we have the controller itself with this nice little cool bag. All right, let's pull this out. Ooh, here we are, I have the controller. The first thing I have to say is that these are Hall effect joysticks, so yeah, they don't have no tension on them whatsoever. Interesting choice. The joysticks, it's like, it feels cheap, but well made at the same time. Like, these concave sticks are like concave enough to where I definitely have a grip around them, and they have like a rubber grip that's on the outside of the rim. But yeah, overall it actually does feel nice though. I probably will put some thumb caps on it because it feels different. It's not bad, but it feels different. All right. The D-pad is basic D-pad, so nothing special about this. Just basically, yeah, it's pretty basic. It's just a basic membrane D-pad. Looks pretty cool. Looks like if you got an 8-way, if it's an 8-way D-pad, you can get some cool little things depending on how you like your D-pads. It's not as stiff. B, A, X, Y. These are standard membrane buttons. They feel fine. The buttons are a little small, I noticed. Probably like slightly bigger than the Switch buttons, but yeah, it's pretty nice. The left bumper and right bumper, yeah, they're basic, fairly cheap. And the triggers, ooh, these triggers are some loosey-goosey triggers, man. I feel a little too loose for me. Like, there's not much resistance to them, but it feels all nice. And also on the back of the controller, the two programmable buttons right here are, yeah, that's pretty standard, nothing too crazy. And it looks like you got a program button right here. So I wonder if the program button's probably for these two back buttons right here. Looks like a really nice controller overall. Also, you got 3.5mm jack to plug your headphones and headsets in. I noticed that there's these copper, like, not prongs, but like copper pads right here. So I wonder if there is like a charging stand for this controller, or maybe like, I don't know, some type of advanced path for this controller. I think it might be a charging stand. I haven't seen it on Amazon, but yeah, I have to say, like, it would be really cool if this controller came with a charging stand. But Hall effect joysticks, little linear Hall effect triggers, BAXY with all membrane buttons. It feels really nice. I wonder how it's like turning this on. Okay, that's pretty cool. Nothing too crazy. Just a basic white LED for the powering this controller on. But yeah, I'm not gonna hold you guys up too much about this controller. So we're gonna probably hook this up to my PC, input latency test, play some games with this controller. I just wanna see how this controller feels because I am actually very curious about this controller. Oh, Also, one more thing. No, these are not the pull-off thumbsticks. Ah, man, I thought this controller had like thumbsticks that you could pull off, but I guess these are not it. Oh well. Well, okay then. I'm fine with that. But yeah, without further ado, let's do all the testing, play some games, and just see how this controller feels, because I'm actually very curious about this controller. Alright guys, so here we are at gamepad tester. So we're going to test the joystick accuracy of this controller. So as you see, the controller is already hooked up via Bluetooth to my controller via X input. And without further ado, we are going to test the joystick accuracy. Click that. Bam, go around slowly, and it has a perfect score. A 0-0 error rate. That is actually very impressive. So yeah, there you go. You got a controller that has very accurate joysticks. All right, time for the input latency test. All right guys, so here we are about to do an input latency test. So right now I'm going to do a wireless connection from using Bluetooth to my computer. So we're going to do 1,000 sample rate to see the input latency of this controller. So without further ado, let's get this started. This is ugly. I see a lot of 8s, but it's going above 8, and oh my god. You want to put my thumb through it. All right, so after that, looking at this, I got a bunch of outliers, and I mean a lot of different outliers from 19 milliseconds, and looking at this, it's like, I don't know, it's like it's trying to hit 8 millisecond input latency, but it keeps on jumping all over the place from 6 milliseconds all the way up to 14, all the way up to 18. Yeah, so I mean, it's good enough. It's not the worst thing in the world, but yeah, they could have done better with the input latency. They should have locked this at a solid 125 polling rate, so that way you can get that solid 8-second input latency. Because yeah, looking at this right now, it's just jumping all over the place. Well, with that being said, let's test this controller out with a wire connection. Alright guys, I am back with the controller now hooked up to my PC with a wire connection. So I actually used the cable that was provided with this controller, so that way you guys will have a very accurate description of how this controller works with a wire connection. So without further ado, yeah, let's just get my thumb ready and let's go. Oh dang, I started a little early. I saw that. There's gonna be a lot of outliers. All right, so besides like the very, very top where I accidentally messed it up. Oh, okay, I didn't mess it up too badly. So yeah, but looks like it's about a 3.8, 3.9. So I'll say it has a basically around a 4 millisecond input latency with a polling rate of 250 was what this controller set to. Of course, you got the couple of outliers that increased it a bit, but I will have to say, like, yeah, this is pretty good. This is actually like standard for like a wire connection to my PC. So yeah, that's pretty good. Without further ado, let's get into some of the other features of this controller. This controller supports 4 different connection modes that corresponds with the guide button. For example, if you want to connect this controller to your PC via X input mode, what you actually want to do is hit the guide button and the up button on the directional D-pad at the same time for 3 seconds to turn it on X input mode. If you want to go for Android mode, that's basically down the guide button. If you want to go for the switch mode, it is going to be the right and the guide button. And lastly, if you want to go into the Crkd mode, you actually want to hit the left in the guide button. In the Crkd mode, it's supposed to be compatible with this mobile app. I just want to give you guys a heads up. I was trying to use it for the Crkd mode and use the mobile app tap feature. It just didn't work for me for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, these are all the 4 connection configurations for this controller. All right, guys, so this controller does come with 2 back buttons right here, and I'm gonna show you how to program both of these back buttons. It's actually really easy to do. So what you're gonna do is you actually want to hit this middle button right here and then hold one of the back buttons for 3 seconds. Once it turns purple, you want to press the corresponding button and then just hit the back button again. And there you go. Now the button is set for whatever back button you want to set it to. You also can do this as well as you can hold it for a couple of seconds. And also if you want to set macros, you're able to set macros with both of these back buttons as well. But yeah, this is how you configure the 2 back buttons for this controller. And if you just actually hold this for like 6 seconds,
this will actually clear both of the back buttons configurations. So basically they go back to doing nothing. And yeah, that's how you program the back buttons. Alright guys, so if you guys want to set turbo mode for this controller, it's actually very easy to set up. So what you're going to do is press the ZL button and the minus button at the exact same time. And you want to hold it for 3 seconds. So I'm going to hold this for 3 seconds. You will notice that the LED will turn green. So before you press any button that you want to have turbo mode for, this LED is going to show you that it's right now at 5 inputs a second. You can actually increase this from 5 inputs a second to 10 inputs per second by pressing the plus button. Now as you see, it's blinking at 10 blinks a second, so that's 10 inputs, and you can even press the plus button again if you want to go all the way up to 20 inputs a second. So, and then also you can press the minus button to also go back down to 10 and then back down to 5. So first you want to set your speed that way. So let's just say I'm going to do 20 inputs a second. Once I have the desired turbo mode speed for the button, I just press the button and now it's automatically set. Now the LED is going to stay green to let you know that you currently have a button set to turbo mode. For me, it's going to be Y or X on the X input controller. So all I've got to do is push a button, and as you see, I have turbo mode set up. Now if you want to clear turbo mode, you also want to hit ZL and minus again, hold it for 3 seconds, hit the button, and there you go. Now it's just a regular button, and that is how you configure turbo mode for this controller. Alright, so this controller has the ability to configure the rumble configurations for this controller, and it's actually really easy to do. So just to let you know that there's 2 rumble motors in this controller, one on the left and one on the right. So if you want to configure the rumble settings, depending on which side you want to control, what you want to do is hold the L or the for left or R for right, and then the plus button for 3 seconds. Once you do that for 3 seconds, you'll notice the LED will turn red. So if you press the plus button and feel 1 vibrations, that just lets you know it's light. Press it again and hear 2 vibrations, that's medium. And then push it 1 more time on the plus side, you'll feel 3 vibrations, that's usually the maximum amount of vibration strength. And then after you push no inputs for 5 seconds, it automatically goes back to white, and it will just input and it will take in the sends. So basically, just like all the other configuration modes, hold plus and hold L for like 3 seconds. The LED will turn red. You can use plus and minus to make it stronger or weaker, or to turn it off completely. And then the LED will turn white, and there you go. Your rumble mode will be set for this controller. This controller also supports no dead zone mode for the joysticks, and it's actually really easy to set up. So if you want to set up no dead zone modes for the joysticks, what you want to do is hold the ZL button and the capture button for 3 seconds. So you're going to hold it and wait for the LED to turn blue. Once it turns blue, just let it sit for about 6 seconds, and then after 6 seconds, the joystick should now be in 0 dead zone mode. So as you see, you can now see the joysticks now like acting bonkers. So this is like the true dead zones of both of these joysticks. As you see, it's not like 0, 0, 0, 0, which is kind of a little upsetting, but it's actually not, because I know a lot of controllers, if you take down dead zones off completely, then you see the real inputs, there's nothing that hits that 0.0000 dead zone mode. And if you want to set the dead zone mode back, all you gotta do is just hold the ZL button and the capture button for 3 seconds, wait for the LED to turn blue. Once it turns blue, just let it sit for 6 seconds, and then once it's done sitting, and go back to your controller, you will notice that the dead zones are now back on the controller. And that's pretty much how you set no dead zone mode and how to turn it off on your controller. Alright guys, so another thing that you could do with this controller is you can actually control the trigger pull configurations for this controller. So basically you can control how long does it take for the controller to go from 0 to 100 on this controller. And I'm gonna show you how to configure that. So to configure that, what you want to do is hold the ZL button and plus button at the same time for 3 seconds. So once you hold that, once the LED turns blue, you basically can hit the minus and plus button to configure the pull, with the lowest being a 25% pull, which I'm gonna set it to 25%, and the highest being 100% pull for it to register 100% pull. So once you set your tone, and then once it goes back to being white, as you notice, now before not even putting the trigger all the way, I basically got 100% pull without even going all the way. So this right now is set to 25% pull, and that's for both triggers. Now, if you want to set this back to 100, you basically could do the same thing where you hold the ZL and plus for 3 seconds. Wait for LED to turn blue. Just hit the plus button like 2-3 times to make it 100% pull. Wait for the LED to turn white. And there you go. Now it's registering where you have to pull the trigger all the way down for 100% pull. And that's how you can configure the triggers or the ZL, ZR of this controller. All right, now, so I've been using this controller for about like a couple months now, and here are my thoughts on this controller. First off, I would like to say that I really love the design of this controller. I also like the fact that this controller comes with so many different designs. So say for instance, if you don't like the green and black spatter plain design, that's the one that I got, you can get something like the peak cherry blossom design, or they have this like blue and like mechanical looking design on the controller, which I find pretty cool. Or it has a sleek like gold design or like a gold brass design, which some people may like better. The fact that this controller comes with so many different designs, I find it to be very cool. I just like the green and black one because that's the one that stands out to me the most, and I thought it was the coolest design, at least for me. Using this controller in everyday gaming, holding this controller in the hands, I'm surprised at how comfortable this controller feels. I thought this controller may be slightly a little uncomfortable with its rectangular shape, but surprisingly, it fits in the hands perfectly fine. Playing games like Call of Duty, I don't find any missteps with using the wired or wireless connection. The two back buttons are actually easy to reach and easy to avoid pressing by accident, and I do find them very helpful for like everyday gaming. Using this controller like in other games such as hack and slash and JRPGs, I have no arguments with this controller. This controller is comfortable in the hands and it is very easy to use with like Nintendo Switch or for PC gaming. Now, another thing that's cool about this controller is that you can buy additional joysticks for this controller. So originally this controller comes with concave joysticks on it. Now if you want, you can actually twist and pull off the concave joysticks and say for instance, you can grab like the dome type joysticks from the joystick pack, and then you could put it on that controller, and I find that to be a really cool thing. I do wish they had a little bit more color designs because I only seen like black. They only have black, gray, and then this yellow and gray design, which I mean, they're cool and all, but I kind of wish that they would just add more designs or add more colors, joystick packs that you can purchase, because I was looking for some lime green versions for my controller, because since my controller is green and black and gray, but I couldn't find it, so I just settled with the gray and yellow, which I actually enjoy. I think these controllers are good. The extra joysticks, they actually feel nice. They all have their own unique texture. One similar to the Xbox, one similar to Nintendo Switch joysticks. And they also got the old domes with these like little spackle design, which yeah, is actually very comfortable, really grippy, and really easy to use. So I usually can use like a mix match of the two, of a concave on the left and the little dome on the right, which it feels comfortable. I like it. I will have to say, like, if I was to give this controller a rating through 1 through 10, seeing as this controller is like one of those Hall effect joystick controllers, now that all these controllers are coming with Hall effect joysticks, which I'm really happy for, which helps negate joystick drift, not completely eliminates it, but just negates it. And the fact that this controller works for Nintendo Switch and PC and works very well. It works very well for both consoles. I will have to say, like, I will have to give this controller Neo S is a solid 7 out of 10. It is a fun controller. Design wise, I love it. I love the design of my controller. I like the fact that I can use this controller with different consoles, with PC and Nintendo Switch. I also like the fact that you could buy accessories for the controller for popping out the joysticks and popping it back on. The only things that I probably wish this controller had was I wish the buttons were micro switches. I know that it is a preference for a lot of people. Some people like the mushy button or mushy membrane buttons. Some people like mechanical switches or mechanical keys. I personally prefer mechanical keys. Also, the triggers, they are a little bit loosey-goosey for me, and it's easy to press, and sometimes, or the ZL or the ZR, you can get like a little mispress by accident because you just lightly tap on the ZL or ZR, and then all of a sudden your gun just starts firing like crazy, or you just start looking down sights. It's really good. It's just I wish that there was like a little bit more tension on the ZL and ZR. But other than that, this is a fun controller to use, and I think if you're looking for like an everyday controller to use with your Nintendo Switch, I have no problem finding this controller. If you want to use this controller for PC, for $45-50, seeing as though most pro controllers with 2 programmable back buttons and Hall effect joysticks are around that same price point, I have no problem buying, recommending this controller. It's comfortable in the hands, easy to use, easy to set up, and the designs are just really cool for this controller. So yeah, for the Neo S CRK controller, I give this controller a solid 7 out of 10. Alright guys, that is it for this video. If you made it this far in the video, do me a favor and hit that like button for me, and also don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now I do know that my uploads are a little inconsistent lately. I've just been really busy with my job and the way how life is right now, but I promise you I do have a lot more controller reviews I'm currently working on. I'm also working on a couple of different mobile controller reviews as I got into the mobile gaming scene, so you should definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also hit that notification bell so that way you guys are notified of when I upload my videos. I know I'm pretty inconsistent, but that notification bell will definitely help you guys out, so that'll let you guys know when I upload the next YouTube video. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.